Hello, sitting in my garden under this insanely beautiful cherry blossom tree. Oh, feeling incredibly blessed and curious to hear from you what your tools are that you use to keep yourself on track. What is it that you reach for when things are going wobbly, and what is it that brings you back to balance? And I'm going to share a bit about, well, there's a few things that have been really helping me recently, and one of them is EFT. I can't believe how good that is. I've always dissed it, but I'm not going to talk about that today because I want to really share about what's called listening partnerships and just listening in general. But even if you don't have time to watch this video through, because I'm just going to take it easy and slow, please do share any thoughts below. I thought it would be really interesting to hear from everyone what you find works, basically. So, listening, I wrote a few notes here just because I wanted to remember the things that I wanted to share with you. I'm sure probably most of you watching this know that I use my voice and sing, and listening is such a key part of sounding. And so I've been really reflecting recently just on the power of listening, whether that's listening musically or listening really deeply to someone who's speaking. And our ears are also really, really acutely connected to our nervous system. And it just struck me as interesting. We can be so soothed by music or so put on edge by music. I was put really on edge yesterday by some really awful new age music that was coming through Spotify, and it just made me feel insane. It was just so kind of... Anyway. And I sort of see meditation really, the more I reflect on it, as listening deeply, not with our ears, but listening to the body or listening to the silence. So this really started to open up for me at the beginning of the year because my sister has been training in hand-in-hand parenting, and one of the real mainstays of that approach is what they call listening partnerships. And the whole premise of the approach is the importance of listening to children. And of course, parents can only really be effective listeners if they're listened to also. And my sister was raving about it, and I was seeing enormous shifts in her, but I don't know, somehow I just didn't pick up. But over the last 18 months, I've watched her transform into what we call unfuckable. Oh no, we don't call it that. We call it unfuckwithable. She's unfuckwithable. She just becomes so resilient to whatever life throws at her. And finally, I was just like, okay, I need this. I want this. And I know it's coming from the listening. So, although Hand in Hand is aimed at parents, listening partnerships as a concept is, I think, taken from co-counselling, and maybe that's also re-evaluation counselling. You might have heard of those two movements. I don't know much about them, but I know that listening partnerships has grown out of that. And they're really for everyone. It's definitely not just for parents. And what happens in a listening partnership is you simply arrange with someone, say you have an hour, you divide the time between you, maybe 25 minutes each, and the first person speaks and the other one listens and can support gently, and then you swap over and the other person listens really, really deeply, fully, with your whole heart and your whole being. And there's certain tools and tips that can take it deeper, but essentially it's about the presence, it's about the listening. And I was really nervous when I started because I was talking to people that had more experience doing listening partnerships, and I was full of, oh God, I'm not going to do it right, and I'm not going to be a good enough listener. And the feedback was completely different, and I really get that. Just to have another human listen intently and just be completely available to you, it's not something we're that used to. And I found something really empowering about not having I can have really amazing, beautiful conversations with friends where we're really listening to each other and really supporting, but there's a back and forth, and there's an awareness of, I don't want to take up all the airtime, and I want the other person to speak. And I found something so empowering about just having this clear delineation. This is your time, and there's just no concern. You can just speak fully, and you know that you will reciprocate it as well. So what's happened through listening partnerships, almost immediately, I couldn't believe how quickly it changed things for me. The senses of having the support that I've always needed but never known I needed in place. And I suppose, like anything that you don't know you need, until you get it, and then you're really aware, wow, that was missing. My sense is that most people, all humans, need this, and perhaps in days gone where we didn't have televisions, let alone smartphones and computers, we maybe listened to each other more. I'm not sure, but I suspect that may have been the case. And I was sharing with other people that have recently started listening partnerships, and we were all agreeing that we feel now, because I have a listening partnership every day except one day a week, so 6 days a week, and that could be 10 minutes each, or it could be half an hour each, or it could be longer, but usually it's between 10 and 25. And it's a sense that all your basic needs for connection and being heard and sharing are met, and then any other social connection on top of that is just a lovely bonus. So there isn't ever any sense of, oh God, I really need to offload something on this friend, and is that going to be okay? And there's none of that. It's really beautiful. It's like feeling completely resourced, and then everything else is just fun. So I'm enjoying that. And the reminder that as I listen to other people sharing with me, and I really listen to them, how we all share the same essential worries, fears, anxieties, paranoias, and really how similar we all are when it comes down to it. And that's so affirming. Especially in the Facebook era, where we just post pictures of ourselves when we're feeling fabulous, looking fabulous, being fabulous. It's really easy to get sort of drawn into that idea that maybe it's only me that feels the way I feel when I'm down and, low. So, yeah. There's so much more I feel I could say, but somehow I'm just loving just being here, listening to the birds, feeling the breeze, feeling more present. And I'm going to post some links below if anyone's interested to find out more about listening. I was very resistant to starting it, actually. I'm not really totally sure why. I think just some real shame about receiving, and the vulnerability of feeling that I need time, that I need another human being to give me time. I felt really uncomfortable to admit that. It's comfortable paying a therapist, maybe, or more comfortable. Somehow I didn't feel I would deserve so much support. But I'm loving the mutuality of it, that at the end of each session I can recognise I've really supported the other person, and that builds a lot of confidence as well. So yeah, if this resonates, I definitely suggest checking it out further, and I'll post some links. My sister wrote an article for Huffington Post about her experience, which is great actually, and probably more succinct and engaging than me rambling. But beyond that, I'd just love to hear your ideas, your tools, what you're finding is most helping you now, or what has helped you in the past, and let's see what we come up with. Thanks.